What's going on, everybody? I'm out here in the junkyard today pulling some parts off of this 01 Montero, and I needed a new impact. I needed a high torque impact, and I gotta tell you, I wanted the Milwaukee, but I wasn't about to drop $500 on a high torque impact plus battery plus charger. And so that's where are we at here? That thing comes in right there, the new Hercules Ultra Torque Gen 2. I decided to pick it up and I'm out here testing it out, pulling parts. So this is gonna be real world tests. I know I've seen YouTube videos in a lab where this thing's doing like 1900 foot-pounds of torque. And that's all great when it's a brand new bolt, brand new nut. But what about on a vehicle that's got 24 years of road grime, salt, debris, all that stuff on it? So I'm gonna be pulling differentials, CV axles, things that are really high torque, like 100 to 200 foot-pounds from the factory, plus 24 years of grime on them. And yeah, let's see how it does. Like nothing. Okay, we are on auto. No big deal. Okay, now we're at the rear of the vehicle. This nut is way tighter than the ones on the front, and I don't even have the cotter pin out all the way, but I'm just hoping to bust through it. So here we go. Yep. Easy. All right, guys. So as you can see, I had no problem getting these CVs out, and these CVs are massive. These ones are 95 millimeter, these ones are 125 millimeter. All of the components, if you don't know, Mitsubishi Monteros are incredibly overbuilt. So you can see how massive these CVs are. And yeah, this impact, it didn't struggle at all. It just zipped these things right off. Those axle nuts, you can see, of course, we were contending with a little bit of surface rust on here, making them a little tighter. And yeah, so what do I have to say? Well, the thing's got plenty of power, but it is a massive, massive impact. It is significantly bigger dimensionally than the Milwaukee version. And that matters when you're up in tight spaces, trying to hold this with one hand and then using like a box wrench on the other hand on your back in the dirt. It's not the funnest thing in the world. As you can see, I got plenty of nicks and marks all over this thing already just after this one job. So I think a mid torque is really the ideal fit for most jobs. And then every now and then when you need more, that's where the high torque comes in. So I think a mid torque would probably be better suited for my applications, but when it comes to the differentials, that's where that thing could really shine if it can fit in. But for the price, I mean, it definitely does what they say it'll do. I mean, for the price, I was even able to pick up this compact Sawzall, and I was still like 350 bucks. And that's, I mean, just the tool alone without battery and charger with a Milwaukee is 300, and I'm at 350 with two tools, battery, charger, and none of this stuff was even on sale at Harbor Freight. It was just like normal pricing. So overall, I like it. I think the biggest con, other than the size and the weight difference, is the anvil is pretty hard to get sockets on there. I don't know if it just needs a lot more use, but it's a real tight fit. Could just be this one, but I have a Bauer 18 volt that I hate because, yeah, same thing. The anvil's like super tight and it's really hard to get sockets on there. But anyways, for this job, it did great. I'm gonna keep playing around with it, but it's got plenty of torque. Okay, we're back. It's another day, and I am back with some new additions to the tool testing lineup. We've got the Ridgid high torque and the Ridgid mid torque, because I found the Hercules so unwieldy. I can't get access to the rear diff bolts unless I use like a swivel adapter, and you lose a lot of torque that way. And plus, this thing's just so unwieldy. It's so heavy. So the Ridgid high torque is significantly smaller than the Hercules. It does come at a loss of at least 300 foot-pounds of torque, but this thing does 1,300 foot-pounds. I kind of doubt I'll need more than that ever. But I also got the mid torque, because if the mid torque can remove the diff bolts, that's like the most hardcore thing I ever have to remove. That'll work for 99% of people out there. If you're not like a professional mechanic or working on semi trucks, there's a good chance this will probably do what you need it to do. So I'm gonna try that out first. And if that does it, then I don't need these and I can just have that. But if it doesn't do it, then we'll try the high torque.
So you can see with the Hercules, if there was a socket on here, it wouldn't be able to fit. It doesn't even fit as it is because of this third row box, storage box. So hoping the mid torque will fit. Hope, yeah, it will. And let's see if it has enough torque to do this thing. Oh yeah, easy, easy. Let's try this one. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that was easy. Now to get to this diff bolt, I never even been able to do it with the high torque. You can see that there's very little room, but the mid torque fits in there. Let's see if it can do it. Yep. There we go. The massive 9.5 inch rear diff is out, all with the mid torque. Amazing. Now I'm working on the front diff, and I had to get this bolt out at a really weird angle. So you can see I've got this super long extension, a wobble socket on here, and I was at like a full angle like this, and it's still got it out. Not the biggest bolt in the world, only a 17 millimeter head on it, but still with all this torque robbing stuff on it, that's, like I said, I'm impressed. The cool thing about a mid torque is because it's so much smaller, you can do so much more work with it, get into tight places where, you know, one tool can do so much more. So there you guys go. 9.5 inch rear diff, 8 inch front diff, all with the Ridgid mid torque, not even with their most powerful battery. It's just the normal 4 amp hour one, not even like the max power one or whatever they call it. You can see it next to the Ultra Torque there. It's much smaller, it's half the size, so it's actually usable in tight spaces and tons of power. I am super impressed. I'm definitely going with the Ridgid mid torque. I've discovered that I really don't need high torques, and if I don't need high torques, then I think, again, 99% of people don't, unless you're working on like semi trucks or something. And the reason why I even went down the Ridgid road is because Harbor Freight does not have a Hercules mid torque. They have like a compact that does like 300-ish foot-pounds, but this one does 600. So Harbor Freight, the Hercules line at this time, which is April 2025, does not have a mid torque. It's got like this high torque and then basically kind of like a compact, nothing in the middle. There's a big hole, I think, in the Hercules line, which is what caused me to go over to Ridgid. And actually the Ridgid was a better deal. 2 batteries instead of 1 and a charger for the same price as the Ultra Torque. So I know what you might be thinking, that's all well and good for an Arizona vehicle with minimal surface rust on it, but where I live in the Midwest, the Northeast, we get tons of rust. Well, the good news is I have this 2001 rust bucket, as you can see. It is from Chicago, so here we have 24-year-old diff bolts that have been in place, plus a ton of rust. Let's put it to the test also. Starting with the front diff, we have to use those extensions. Okay, that's one. There we go. Last one. Be able to get the socket onto this rusty bolt head. There it is. Okay. Now we're at the rear of the vehicle, and this is where the real test lies. Whoa, did you see all that rust flying everywhere? Okay, got that one out. Okay, now I've got to cut through a bolt. I used the Harbor Freight Hercules in the junkyard, did 3 cuts on a bolt. I've got the Diablo carbide blade, which is really good, but now we're going to try it out on the Ridgid compact saw. See if we can get in here. Here's the real test, is these rear ones. I remember we hit these a long time ago with like a biggest DeWalt they make, DXF something or other, and they didn't budge. And now we've only got 1 bar of battery life left here on these 24mm bolts. Let's give it a shot. Oh, it did it. Wow. That's amazing. It did it. Boom. Diffs out. Unbelievable. Just to give you a better idea of how rusty this vehicle is, look at these coolant lines, completely rusted through. These alignment bolts are seized. So that's why the tire is bald on the inside and gray on the outside. This thing is super, super rusty. 20 years in Chicago. That's why this is so impressive to me with a mid-torque. Okay, it's windy, but everybody likes to see torque tests on lug nuts. So let's take this down. My torque wrench goes up to 150 foot-pounds. There it is. And remember, this mid-torque, battery level is on 1. There you go. Battery level's on 1. Same battery we've been doing all this stuff with. Here we go. Yep. We were on auto on that one. Tighten that up. Let's go back up to 150. And then let's put this on the breaker bar and give it some extra. Maybe we can get it to 200. I don't know for sure. That's tight. Here we go. Last bar. Can it do it? I won't fault it if it can't. There's hardly any battery left. Here we go. Final thoughts back at the shop. 4 differentials pulled. Thermostat housing. 2 valve covers, some lug nuts, all on 1 original charge on this Ridgid mid-torque. Also on that same battery, I threw it into the compact reciprocating saw, cut through a bolt, this exact bolt, a different one though. I believe they're 10.9 grade, super strong, cut through twice, all on that same battery. And when it comes to comparing the Ridgid compact Sawzall to the Harbor Freight Hercules one, I mean, I think they're both about the same. They both get the job done. I think the biggest difference is that the Ridgid one is quite a bit smaller. The Harbor Freight one, its motor, it like comes up about here. So this one is definitely more compact, which did help out underneath the vehicle. I can't say enough good things about it. It's definitely what I'm gonna go with. It will do the job for almost everybody. I mean, it's hard to find things that this won't do. So I definitely don't need the high torques. This is what I'm going with. I mean, the value is insane. This thing was $279 from Home Depot in April 2025. It came with the charger and 2 4-amp-hour batteries. Just, you can't beat it. I mean, that's basically the price of just the tool alone of the Milwaukee version. So I'm incredibly impressed. If I have to fault it at all, the friction ring is very tight as well. I think that's just a new tool thing though, because I've had multiple new tools where it's just like that, where you really have to fight with sockets to get them on. I think it's just the friction ring needs to be, you know, broken in. And maybe the only other thing that I could fault it is you can see on the battery, it's got these 2 tabs on the side. So you kind of have to use 2 hands to remove the battery. On some other guns, you can do it with 1 hand, but I mean, I'm really nitpicking here, trying to find something that I don't like. Just, yeah, super impressed.
I'm gonna give this 2 thumbs up. Definitely recommend it. All right, you guys, I'll see you in the next one.